condemned, denied, mocked, beaten, and crucified. You see, Christ couldn't have just died, no. A natural death wouldn't have been sufficient enough to nullify our transgressions. It wouldn't have been poignant enough to justify the crime he had been charged with. And easy death just wouldn't have appeased the price to be paid. It wouldn't have satisfied God's plan. So he stayed, he endured, he prayed. And on his body, our stripes were laid. For every sin we've committed and every moment his ways we forfeited. For our imperfect selves impacted by his perfect self, by his stripes, we are acquitted. And his grace, for him to bear, to face the weight of our sin, the corruptedness of humanity. The Father was disgraced. Humanity racked up God's wrath and indulged in temptation. They lived for themselves and spent Christ's life without hesitation. And still, he chose to die, and not just any death, but death on the cross, because had he forsaken the cross, the will of God, his plan for the lost, it would have been his loss, for we were the joy set before him. The reason he was born, the reason he lived, the reason why upon that cross he hung and onto life he clung. The Father turned his back on him, lavishing upon the one and only perfect sacrifice our unbearable weight of sin. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus cried out in agony. For the first time in his life, he was separated from God's presence. It was the only way to make total recompense for our every offense. And a few hours later, he died. But Christ wasn't finished. Death wasn't his end. Death was just the payment given, the atonement for sin. And if he had to choose to do it all over again, he would. For you, for me, for all of humanity. But that won't be necessary, because Christ set us free eternally when on that third day, he was resurrected. Payment accepted. Death was rejected. It was negated. And through his resurrection, new life was created. His resurrection proved his power to forgive, and it's through this same power that you and I now have the freedom to live without fear of what we deserve. For the wages of sin is death, and that's a high price to pay, but Christ took our bill undeserving himself and paid it anyway. Paid in full. So whatever you're facing, messed up in, embracing, whatever sin you've committed or way of God you forfeited, Christ has redeemed you. He paid your price so that you can know the truth. And the truth is, you are the apple of his eye. The reason he died and came back alive, you were the joy set before him. The reason that he endured all of your sin, you are his child, his heir, his prized possession. You are the reason he got up and the reason he still gets up again and again. So today I invite you to get up out of the grave. Christ paid your way so you don't have to stay. There is no sin great enough, no distance wide enough. You're not too far gone for you to be drawn back into the Father's arms of forgiveness, his unconditional love and grace. This is your rightful place. So rise up, man of God. Rise up, woman of God. Accept the Father's gift to you. The price has been paid through and through. Now the choice is yours. It's up to you.